Hello, so today we're in the literary and informative analysis packet, and we're looking at essential question number 6. What's the purpose of applying grammar and mechanics skills in my writing? As we look at grammar and mechanics skills, we're going to focus today on learning target under conventions, and it's going to be learning target number 5, to find and correct mistakes in subject-verb agreement. So make sure that you are dating this one, today's date, and let's review the notes under that. You probably have them already in there. If not, write them in. So what this means is that your subject, which is the noun of the sentence, must agree with the verb of the sentence in both number, which that means is it needs to agree in singular to singular, plural to plural. So if you have a singular subject, you need to have a singular verb. If you have a plural subject, you have a plural verb. So let's look at how we know if we have singular or plural subjects and verbs. So singular subjects don't have an ending. So with nouns, singular subjects have no ending. Our plural subjects have the ending. So our plural subjects end in S, and our singular subjects have no ending. Now, with pronouns, sometimes we use different words to represent singular pronouns versus plural pronouns. So, for instance, I would be singular as well as you, but they in fact use plural verbs. So even though I and you are singular pronouns, they're like a special role, and they always use a plural verb. They uses a plural verb, we uses the plural verb. And then from there, when we look at verbs, singular verbs are the opposite. Verbs are opposite as nouns, simply because it would sound funny if they had the same ending as the subject. So that's why we have the inverse rule. So verbs in the singular, whenever it's present tense, verbs that are singular actually end in the S. And plural verbs, you drop the S and have no ending. So you have to keep them opposites. So singular subjects with no ending go with a singular verb that has an ending, and plural subjects don't have have the ending of S, whereas plural verbs, you don't have the ending of S, so that it has that opposite approach. Some special verbs are like your linking verbs. Is singular, are is plural. Was is singular, were is plural. Has is singular, and have is plural. So let's do some practice with this. Read the paragraph. Although robots are used for increasing number of activities, scientists who program them say that there are many things they cannot do well. One of those things is communicating through conversation. Human beings naturally detect meaning in words that robots do not. Programmers of robots hope to make advances, but for now, humans are better communicators. So let's look at this one. Do you think it's A, or which change should be made to the paragraph to correct the error in subject-verb agreement? Is it A, change says to say in sentence 1? Is it B, change is to are in sentence 2? Is it C, change detect to detects in sentence 3? Or is it D, change hope to hopes in sentence 4? So in this one, the correct answer is A, to change says to say in sentence 1. Let's look. Simply, since we're looking for subjects agreeing with the verbs, we need to double check what the subjects and verbs are. The first sentence, robots is the subject, and robots is plural. And are used. Are is already using the plural verb, so it matches up. Subject and verb agrees. In the next part of this sentence, that's a subordinate clause. In the independent part, we have the subject scientists, which is plural, and who programmed them says. So scientists, plural subjects and an S, but we know that singular verbs and an S. So this verb right now is singular because it's ending in S. Sometimes the clause right here, who programmed them, that can be used, and then that's where you're going to get a mistake in subject-verb agreement, is whenever you have like extra phrases or clauses that are separating the subject from the verb, sometimes we'll make mistakes in noticing whether they match up. So this word say needs to be or it needs to be say because of that. We need to get rid of that S because this is a plural verb and we need to make sure it's plural to match the scientist. Okay, so obviously the rest of them, the subjects and verbs, in fact, agree. So let's do another practice. Read the paragraph. Monarch butterflies, like many other animals, migrate south for the winter. Butterfly lovers flock to a place in Mexico every year to see the millions of monarchs that spend the winter there. These monarchs hatched somewhere in the north the previous spring, and because monarchs have a short lifespan, no single monarch lives long enough to make the return trip. The task is left to their offspring, who somehow find their way north. Which change should be made to the paragraph to correct the error in agreement? Is it A, change migrate to migrates in sentence 1? Is it B, change flocks to flock in sentence 2? Is it C, change lives to live in sentence 3? Or is it D, change find to finds in sentence 4? Now for this one, the correct answer is B, change flocks to flock in sentence 2. Let's look at why. So in this first sentence, we have butterflies as the subject. It's plural, and it's completely working with migrate, which is also in the plural form already. So they match plural to plural. In the second sentence, which is the one that needs changed, butterfly is singular. So that means we need to have, or excuse me, I'm sorry, monarch or lovers is plural. So we have this plural word lovers, butterfly lovers. And then we have flocks, which is singular. That's where I got the singular from. So we have a plural word lovers with a singular flocks. So lovers, flocks is not going to work. We have to change this to the plural form. And remember how plural verbs don't have the S ending. So we have to eliminate that. So now it would read butterfly lovers flock to that place in Mexico every year. So that is why the correct answer would be to change flocks to flock because the subject was plural. So we need that plural verb, and we know that plural verbs drop an S ending, and the singular ones have the S ending. So please make sure you're double checking as you're rough drafting this week. Double check your writing to make sure that you're appropriately using the proper subject verb agreement forms, matching singular to singular and plural to plural.